We've been looking at the Spirit of God and what He does in our lives. And today we're going to look at the fact that the Spirit of God stops floods from overwhelming us. And our text is from Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19. So they shall fear the name of the Lord from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against him. This passage tells us how the enemy comes against us. And the passage says, the enemy comes against us like a flood. A flood is a very strong current of water that moves things in its way and destroys. And I live in the city of Accra, and if you've lived in the city of Accra or any other city that has floods, you can testify to the damage a flood can cause. Floods can be very disastrous. They destroy, they kill, they overwhelm us. And when a flood is in operation, it's almost as if nothing can stop it. It's all just as if the flood has its own way, and whatever it wants to do, it does. And sometimes you see the enemy, Satan, coming against our lives, and it looks like a flood. It almost seems as if whatever he wants to do against you, he gets its way, and he does it. But listen to what God says in this passage. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of God will lift up a standard against him. So anytime Satan comes against your life like a flood, the Spirit of God who lives inside of you will lift up a standard against him. What does the word standard mean? The word standard is an interesting word in the original language. It means that which causes to flee. That which causes to flee. That's the first meaning. Secondly, that which causes an escape. That which causes an escape. So it means that when the enemy brings in a flood against you, the Spirit of God will create a way of escape for you. He will lift up a standard. He will give you an escape. He will give you a way of deliverance. That's the first meaning. The second meaning is that when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of God will cause him to flee. In other words, the flood is coming against you, but God rises up on your behalf and the enemy flees from you. In both occasions, whether God gives you a way of escape or he causes the flood to escape, the net effect is that God will deliver you from the flood. So I don't know what kind of flood is coming your way. Maybe bad news after other is coming your way. It's time for the Spirit of God to lift up a standard against that flood in your life. You are about to find a way of escape. God will deliver you. And if he doesn't deliver you, then he's going to cause the flood to flee away from you. They shall come against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against him. May the Lord lift up a standard against the enemy. May the Spirit of God rise up on the inside of you and cause every flood that has come against you to run away from you. You have been called to victory. Enjoy the victory of the Lord Jesus Christ. I am Pastor Mensa Otabil. Shalom, peace, and life to you. We are about to enter a very important season on our church's calendar. It's our season of consecration, of prayer, and of fasting. We call it 40 Days of Power. It starts from the 25th of June and ends on the 3rd of August. We trust God that in these 40 days of power, the heavens will be open over our lives and we will enjoy heaven on earth. Join us and let's have a great spiritual moment.